It's 2026. Does buying a house feel like a lost cause? Here is the brutal truth. In the Netherlands, nominal house prices are now 15% higher than their 2022 peak. But is this the end? No, it's the start of a new game. Today, I'm breaking the old world myth that no house means no security. We're re-exploring why the 2026 European economy has entered a strange Goldilocks balance, and why the government just handed you an unexpected rental bonus by officially scrapping housing benefit limits. I'm going to teach you the most powerful defensive weapon of 2026, the three-tier liquidity framework. We'll use a scientific withdrawal rate to ensure that even while renting, you achieve financial sovereignty more stable and free than any homeowner. This isn't a compromise. It's a system-level upgrade. Watch until the end to reclaim your financial autonomy. Ever wonder what's really happening with your money in Europe right now? It's 2026, and analysts are calling the Eurozone economy a Goldilocks state. Not too hot, not too cold. GDP growth is chugging along at a steady 1.1 to 1.4%. Even though the US threw a curveball with a global tariff policy back in February, which should have hammered our exports, the European domestic market is surprisingly tough. So, what's the secret? It's the job market. We're seeing historically tight labor conditions, with unemployment down to just 6.2%. And for the first time in what feels like forever, your wages are actually growing faster than inflation. Real purchasing power is up by about 1.5%. That means more money in your pocket, right? Well, here's where it gets tricky. This resilience has a hidden cost, something the European Central Bank is calling the uncertainty tax. Even with higher incomes, people are so nervous about global trade drama and sudden policy changes that they're cutting back. Households are spending about €100 less each month on essentials and another €100 less on bigger purchases like cars or appliances, all just to keep cash on hand. This fear has pushed the Eurozone savings rate up to a massive 15.4%. But this isn't smart saving for the future. It's more like fear hoarding. This cash is just sitting in low-interest bank accounts, getting slowly eaten away by core inflation, which just got revised up to 2.2%. Your safe money is actually losing value every single day. Now, when you have a bit of extra cash, the first thought for many is buying a house. And this plays perfectly into the current property market setup. The ECB has locked in deposit rates at 2%. It sounds pretty neutral, but what it really means is that mortgage rates of 3 to 3.5% are here to stay. This is the new normal for anyone looking to buy a home. But the real storm is brewing in the bond market. There's a huge structural mismatch happening. European governments are planning to issue a record €1.4 trillion in new debt this year. The problem? Their most reliable customers, the big domestic pension funds, are backing away and reducing how much they buy. This creates a massive liquidity vacuum in the financial system. When the biggest buyers step back, the whole system has to reprice itself to attract new money. And that repricing starts with the cost of borrowing for everyone, including you. We're already seeing yields on high-quality government bonds climbing to 3.2%, just to find new, more price-sensitive buyers. What does this mean for you and that house you've been dreaming of? It means the cost of your mortgage is no longer just about what the ECB decides. It's now being dictated by the harsh reality of the market. The old idea that just owning property makes you wealthy is fading fast. The premium on being able to sell your assets quickly, liquidity, is disappearing from real estate. We're shifting into a new era. It's no longer about just owning assets and watching them grow. The game has changed. Now, the real winners will be those who can skillfully navigate these complex market currents. Having liquid capital, real cash, is becoming more powerful than simply owning things. This is an era of navigation, not just ownership. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more insights on how to stay ahead. Ever dreamed of living in the Netherlands? Picturesque canals, charming houses, and a great work-life balance. It sounds perfect, right? Well, there's a big problem lurking behind those beautiful brick facades. A massive housing crisis. So, what's going on? For years, the number of new houses being built just hasn't kept up with the number of people who need them. Think about it. a growing population, more international students, and more single-person households all looking for a place to live. It's a classic case of too much demand and not enough supply. And when supply is low, what happens to prices? They skyrocket. Both buying a home and renting have become incredibly expensive, especially in popular cities like Amsterdam, Utrecht, and Rotterdam. For young people, starters, and even those with middle incomes, finding an affordable home feels like mission impossible. Many are stuck living with their parents longer or are forced to move far away from their jobs and communities. The government has policies in place, like rent control for certain properties and plans to build more homes, but these solutions take a long time to make a real difference. Strict regulations on where and how you can build also slow things down. It's a complex puzzle with no easy answers. This isn't just about buildings and money. It's about people's lives and their future. The struggle to find a home creates stress and uncertainty, making it hard for people to put down roots and plan for the future. What do you think is the best way to solve this crisis? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this interesting, give this video a like and subscribe for more insights into life in the Netherlands. Thanks for watching. Did you know the Dutch government might be paying for your rent in 2026? As your analyst, my job is to find the cracks in the wall, and I've found a big one. It's called the Huurtoeslag reform, or housing benefit reform. Before 2025, if your rent was over about 900 euros, you got zero support. This was tough for young professionals, especially in cities like Rotterdam, who were paying high rents with no help. But everything changes on January 1st, 2026. The government has removed that maximum rent cap. So, what does this mean for you? Even if you're renting a nice apartment for 1,200 euros a month, you could now be eligible for support. The benefit is calculated on the first 932 euros of your rent, which could mean hundreds of euros of cash flowing directly into your bank account every month. The only catch is your income and assets have to be within the limit, and this is where financial sovereignty begins. For 2026, the asset limit for a single person is just over 38,000 euros. This is why your financial planning needs to be precise. If you manage your liquid assets to stay just under this limit, the government is essentially helping pay for your lifestyle. Now, imagine what you could do with that extra cash. If you invest the money you save on rent into something like a global ETF, the power of compounding could turn it into a down payment for your own home in 20 years. Smart people always study the fine print. Step 1 to financial freedom is learning how to let the system work for you while you build your capital. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more insights on how to build your wealth. Now let's get into the core strategy, the 3-tier liquidity framework. In 2026, cash is no longer trash. It is your defensive fortress. Tier 1, the cash fortress. With ECB rates steady at 2%, digital banks are in a price war. Trade Republic offers 2.00% annual yield with no balance cap. Bunk offers 2.01%, and the best part is it pays out weekly. This high-frequency compounding is your best tool for daily expenses. Keeping 6 to 12 months of expenses here is your escape cost, giving you the power to walk away from any rental or job situation. Tier 2, Global Productivity. This is your growth engine. Allocate into an accumulating UCITS ETF like VWCE. Even with the challenge of the Dutch 36% unrealized gains tax, the earning power of the top 3,700 global companies like Nvidia and Apple is designed to outrun tax costs. VWCE has delivered a 5-year cumulative return of 78.40%, far outpacing house price growth. Tier 3. The quantitative goal. Once you have these layers, you need to know, how much is enough? In 2026, the old 4% rule is dead. According to Morningstar's latest research, the most scientific safe starting withdrawal rate is 3.9%. Initial underscore withdrawal equals portfolio underscore value times 0.039. This means if you have a 1 million euros portfolio, you can safely withdraw 39,000 euros a year with a 90% success rate for 30 years. Combined with the housing benefit reform, you actually need significantly less capital to live a better life in Rotterdam than someone locked into a 30-year mortgage. Sovereignty isn't about owning a deed. It's about whether your cash flow covers your freedom. So, let's wrap up the 2026 logic. We live in a time where property is over-mythologized and liquidity is severely undervalued. A 15% rise in home prices sounds great, but if it's your only home, it's just a paper number. You still have maintenance, property taxes, and a debt contract that chains you to one spot for 30 years. Compare that to 3-tier liquidity. 1. You use Bunk or Trade Republic to get a 2% plus risk-free return as a tax and emergency buffer. 2. You use the housing benefit reform to let the government subsidize your city lifestyle. 3. You aim for the 3.9% safe withdrawal rate and let the world's best companies work for you. The core of this strategy is geographic agility. If the tax laws change, you move your liquid assets. If your landlord raises the rent, you have a 12-month buffer to find a better deal. Financial sovereignty isn't about having a fixed address. It's about having the power to leave whenever you want without losing your wealth. In 2026, single earners aren't victims of the market. If you know the data and catch the policy dividends, this is your golden era. This is Jenny Insights Money in Mind. See you next time.